And we got it going. We're back on full screen. Let's scroll down to 3.3 over on page 133, and let's work some problems. Notes. We have some more notes for 3.3. What are they? Okay. P and Q. What are the possibilities? True and true. True and false. False and true. False and false. Okay? How do you read this statement? If P, then Q. If it's raining outside, I'll be carrying an umbrella when I come to class. You follow that? If then. If it's raining, I'll be carrying an umbrella when I come to class. Now, true and true. It's raining and I'm carrying an umbrella. I told the truth. Everybody follow that? True and false. It's raining and I'm not carrying an umbrella. I did not speak the truth. That's a false statement then. You with me? It's not raining and I'm carrying an umbrella. If it's raining, I'll carry an umbrella. I didn't say what I would do if it wasn't raining. So if it's not raining, I could carry an umbrella or I could not carry an umbrella, and I've still made a true if-then statement. Everybody follow that? So the truth value for if-then is true, false, true, true. You know, just like and is only true when both are true, and all the other times it's false, if-then is true all the time except when the if is true and the then is false. And that's when it's false. Otherwise, if-then is true. You need to put that in your notes because it's going to take a little time for that to stick in your head. And if it doesn't stick in your head, it doesn't matter. And if doing this logic is painful, just buy yourself a little package of M&Ms and smell them and suck on them while you're doing logic, and it'll make logic go down easier. Okay, so now we've got another statement here. P with an arrow in both directions in Q. And here's how you read that. P, if and only if Q. P, if and only if Q. So watch what I just said. If it's raining, I'll carry an umbrella. That's this first one. I'll carry an umbrella, no, P, if and only if it rains will I be carrying an umbrella. You see the difference in those two statements? If and only if it rains will I be carrying an umbrella. And the truth value for if and only if, it's true when both are true, it's true when both are false, but if one's true and one's false, it's false. Watch. True and true. If it's raining and only if it's raining will I carry an umbrella. It's raining and I'm carrying an umbrella. I told the truth. True and false. If it's raining and only if it's raining will I carry an umbrella. It's raining and I'm not carrying an umbrella. I lied. Okay? False and true. If it's raining and only if it's raining will I carry an umbrella. It's not raining and I'm carrying an umbrella. I just lied because I said only if it's raining will I carry an umbrella. It's not raining and I'm not carrying an umbrella, then I haven't lied. You follow that? So that's why true and true is true for if and only if, and false is true for if and only if. And I don't know if you need this or not right now, but it doesn't hurt to put it in your notes. And if P, if and only if Q, is equivalent to if P then Q and if Q then P. So if you want to check out the truth value for if and only if you do if P then Q and you do the truth value for that, looking at your chart, then that's going to be true and true is what? True. And true and false is false. And false and true is true. And false is true. Then if you do if Q then P, and let's just change this color here. Q is true, false. So I go true, false, true, false. And then P is true, false, true, false. And if then, what's the value for if then? When both are true, it's true. When the first one's false and the second one's true, it's what? True. When the first one's true and the second one's false, it's false. And if the first one's false and the second one's false, it's true. You got that? So now I'm doing and. So I'm comparing the blue and the red to do and. True and true is true. False and true is true. True and false. If P, what did I do here? Oh, and true is true. False and true is false for and. True and false is false. And true is true. So this column and this column match. I think I did that somewhere over here. Oh no, this is some more information to put in your notes. If P then Q is equivalent to not P or Q, it has the same truth value. If P then Q is equivalent to not P or Q. See how they have the same truth value? True, false, true, true, false, true. And down here, to negate if P then Q is to say is to negate this, which is false, true, false, which is equivalent to this, P and not Q, which is false, true, false. And maybe it helps when you're writing this information down in your notes. It might help if you put some of these truth values underneath it to help convince your mind to accept it. If you're saying, no, I'm going to do this chapter on logic because it's in the class, but I'm not accepting anything. When it's finished, I'm filing it away in the junk folder. Okay, if that's the way you feel about it. Problem number 2, page 133. In problems 2 and 3, use truth tables to show equivalence. So, what's going on here? I'm showing the equivalence of this and this. You follow me? So watch how I do this. First, I build my stuff out here I'm going to work with. So P is just true, true, false, false. So true, true, false, false. Not if Q is true, false, what's not Q? If Q is true, false, what's not Q?
False, true, false, true.
False, true, false, true. Everybody follow that? So now I'm here with red saying if P, then Q. So true and false. Back up to your little chart. True and false. There's true and false. If P, then Q. True and false is what? False. So we'll change this to blue. So true and false is false. True and true is what? True and true is true. Everybody follow that? False and false is what? False and false is what?
True.
True. So I put true here. False and true. False and true is what?
True.
True. So I put true here. Everybody follow that? Now I'm going to come over to the other side. I'll change this to blue since I'm doing blue. P and Q are true, false, false, false. Right? And is only true when both are true. And all the other times, and is false. You got that in your notes somewhere? So now, if this statement is true, false, 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 what would the negation of that be? False, true, true, true. Are these two equivalent? False, true, 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 false, true, true, true. Okay? Say, what did I just do? I drew a beautiful picture. That's what I did. A work of art. No, look at the problem. Use truth tables. I built a truth table to show this equivalence. That's what I just did. Just happens to be a work of art, in my humble opinion. Number 4. In problems 4 to 7, find the truth value for each statement. All right. This is going to mess with your head a little bit. Find the truth value for each statement. If 2 plus 2 is 22. If, see, here's the truth statement part. If then. You got that? When you see if then, that's a truth, that's an if then statement. Now, is 2 plus 2 22? Yes or no? You go, I don't know. I'm so confused now. I'm afraid to even crunch numbers in my head. No, it's not. That's a false statement. Does 22 equal 4? No, that's a false statement. Now, if false, then false. Back to your notes. If false, false and false is what?
True.
True for an if-then statement. So, what does that make this problem for? It makes it a true statement. Say, how can you tell two lies and it be a true statement? Watch. If 2 plus 2 is 22, then 22 equals 4. Is 2 plus 2 22? No. So since it's not, me saying 22 equals 4 is conditioned on that being true, and since that isn't true, then it doesn't matter whether what I say on the other side is true or false. I haven't lied to you because of that if-then construction. So let's do number 6. Here's the if-then stuff. If-then. Now then, I'm going to change to blue and say 2 plus 2 is 22. And what you ask is true or false. And what's the answer?
False.
False. Then you come 8 is 4 plus 4. And what's the answer? 8 is 4 plus 4. True or false?
True.
That's true. So now what I have is if false, then true. Go back up to the chart. If false, then true is what?
True.
True. So that makes this statement. Number 6 is true. Everybody follow that? Number 8. Find all the x's that make a true statement. If 2 plus 2 is 22, whoops, change to blue. If 2 plus 2 is 4, that's true, isn't it? Then x minus 2 equals 5. If this is true, for this to be a true statement, remember what it said? Find all the numbers that make the sentence true. So 8 has to be a true statement. To make that a true statement, what does this statement have to be?
3.
True. It has to be true, doesn't it? If this is true, this has to be true. See, go back up to your chart. If this is true, this has to be true for it to be true. If Q is false, then it's a false statement. So when P is true, to make a true statement, Q has to be true. So let's go down to our problem again. So what would I put in place of X to make a true statement? What minus 2 is 5? 7. That's the only thing I can put there. So I just found all the replacements of X that make this whole statement true. Number 10. If, here's another if then. If x plus 2 is 6, now is that true or false? Depends on what you put in place of 6. X, right? I mean, if I said x was 2, that would be what? False. If I said x was 4, that would be true. You follow me? Everybody follow? What number I picked for x? The only one that's going to make it true is 4. Anything else I put in place of x is going to be false. Now, what's the second part? 3 plus 2 is 5. Is that true? Go back up to your chart. When this is true, when Q is true, what does it take to make if then true? When Q is true, if then is true, if P is true, or if P is false. Do you follow that? Q is true. If Q is true, if then is true. Whether P is true or false. It doesn't matter what you use. P can be true or false. So I come down here to my problem and I say, guess what? This statement can be true or false. And this would still be a true statement out here. So what can I put in place of X to make a true or a false statement? Any number. It wouldn't matter what I put there. If I put 4 there, it's a true statement, but it's okay if it's a false statement. It's still a true conditional, a true if-then statement. So I could put any number in place of X, and I haven't lied to you when I've said if-then. Number 14. Construct a truth table. So what do we do first? Let's change to green. No, let's do blue. So, yeah, I thought I changed to blue. There. So, what do we do first? We make our standard table. True, 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 false, false, true, false, false. Then we go, if P, then Q. What's the truth value for if P, then Q? True and true is what? True. True and false is false. False and true is true. False and false is true. You got that down in your notes there? So now I have this truth value here compared with P, which is true, true, false, false, true, true, false, false. So I'm comparing those two columns with an if-then statement. Change to green. With an if-then statement. To get this column here. So true and true is what? True. False and true is what? True. True and false is what? False. True and false is false. So now I've got this green sums up this whole statement right here. And now I'm doing this, if then this. So I'm looking at true, and that's true. I'm looking at true and false, and that's false. I'm looking at false and true, and that's true. From your little chart, right? You're just looking at your chart there. And I'm looking at false and true, and that's, no, false, I'm sorry, false, and that's true. So here's the final answer to this constructed truth table. Here's my final answer for this whole problem. True, false, true, true. That got a little complicated. Let's jump down to number 20. In problems 20 to 25, let P be I will buy it. And let Q be if it's a poodle. And write in symbolic form if then. See that if then stuff? If then. So you have your if then chart there about what's true and what's false. True, false, true, true. You got your if then thing laying in front of you somewhere so you can look at it. So if then. If it's a poodle, that's Q, isn't it? Then I will buy it. That's P. So what's the symbolic form? If Q, then P. There's your answer. Let's go down and do 22. What does 22 say? It's a poodle if and only if I buy it. And I buy it is P, and it's a poodle is Q. And if and only if is this symbol right here. So there's your final answer. Q, if and only if P. Number 24. What does 24 say? If I will not buy it, here's that if again. Since I did red, let's do blue. If and then. Because you have to keep those in mind. We're looking at this special construction called if then. If and then. Now, if P is I will buy it, then what would not I will buy it be? Not P. Everybody see that? And if Q is it's a poodle, if it's not a poodle, then I would put a not in front of Q. And the if then would be this little arrow here. So there's the symbolic form for this statement right here. If not P, then not Q. You got that? I'm just taking words and translating into symbols. And skip 26 to 28. And jump to 29 through 31. So don't work problems 26 to 28. Jump to 29 to 31. Write in symbolic form what did they say to do here? Where'd it go? Oh, they give you a bunch of stuff here. Put this information down. If P then Q is equivalent to not P or Q. If it's raining outside, then I'll be carrying an umbrella to class. That's equivalent to saying it's not raining outside or I'm not carrying an umbrella to class. You go, why? Because we did that earlier. Because those two statements have the same truth value, so that makes them equivalent. You go, well, they don't sound equivalent in my little heart. Well, the heart's deceitful. So just make a note that if P then Q is equivalent to not, if not P, or not, I'm sorry, if P then Q is equivalent to not P or Q. Those two statements have they have the same truth value. So that makes them equivalent statements. So now number 30, what does number 30 say? If Mida is home by 5, and they call that H, that's an if then, remember? If Mida is home by 5, then dinner will be ready by 6, and that's R. So here's my if-then statement. If Mida's home by 5, then dinner is ready at 6. So I took all of that statement and symbolically wrote it like that. You follow me? And what did we say that was equivalent to? Right up here. So there's if not H, if Mida is not home by 5, or Mida, no if, Mida is not home by 5, or dinner is ready by 6. And do they want me to write that in words? write the corresponding equivalent statement? I think they do. So, write that out in words. But I'll just leave it in symbolic form. Number 32, because once you've done the symbolic part, it'll be easy to go back to just say, not H is Mida is not home by 5, or dinner will be ready at 6. 32, if you work, you have to pay taxes. Here's that if then. And work is W, and pay taxes is P. So if W, then P. And that's equivalent to saying what? You're not working, or you're paying taxes. You're not working, or you're paying taxes. That's how I would write it out in words. Oh, looks like I did it down here. You don't work, or you pay taxes. Work problem number 34 for homework. Just because you need some practice doing that. And just doing one problem isn't enough practice. So I'll do that for you, and then you do the next one on your own. Do number 34 as part of your homework. 35 to 39. Now they give you some more information. All P's are Q's is equivalent to if P then Q. Watch this. All dogs are what? Four-legged? Is that right? All dogs have 4 legs? So, if P then Q. If it's a dog, then what? Then it has 4 legs. That's not the same as saying if it has 4 legs, it's a dog. You follow me? If I say all dogs have 4 legs, then that's equivalent to saying if it's a dog, then it has 4 legs. So put that in your notes. Because for number 36, says all cats are felines. So if all cats are felines, that would say what? If it's a cat, then it's a feline. And they want you to write it out in words. If I was going to do it symbolically, I would go, if it's a cat, then it's a feline. You follow that? But that's not what they asked for. Number 38. All prime numbers greater than 2 are odd numbers. All prime numbers greater than 2 are odd numbers. So, if it's a prime number greater than 2, then it's an odd number. You see what we're doing? We're using this information right here, this equivalence thing, to restate some statements using the word all. 42 to 47, negate. Now we're talking about negating something. You ready for this? Another thing for your notes? Or did you write that down earlier? To negate if P then Q, then you write P and not Q. If it's raining, I'm carrying an umbrella. How do I negate that? P, it's raining, and what? I'm not carrying an umbrella. In other words, if it's raining, I'll carry an umbrella. So you see me carrying the umbrella, I made a true statement. To negate a true statement, you have to make it a false statement. So you have to say, it's raining and I'm not carrying the umbrella. You follow that? You're not only getting a headache from logic, you're also getting a stomachache. You're feeling sick to your stomach. Bring something to munch on. It will help. Number 42. If, what? If then, if you eat, where did it go? If you earn a lot of money, then you pay high taxes. So that would be if P, then Q. So how do I negate that? I say P and not Q. So what would that be? P, you earn a lot of money, and not Q, you do not pay high taxes. That's the negation of if you earn a lot of money, then you pay high taxes. The negation is you earn a lot of money and you don't pay high taxes. If I speed on my way to school, the Raymore police will pull me over and give me a ticket. Negate that. I was speeding and I didn't get a ticket. I hate it when people tell me that. You say, why? Because I've never been speeding without getting a ticket. Oh, no, it did happen one time. But people tell me how they just smile and talk nice to the officer and he just lets them go with a warning. It must be something about my tone of voice. They just write me out a ticket. Don't pass go and pay $200. My goodness. Number 44. If Alice passes the test, then she gets the job. Now, I'm supposed to negate that. So what do I say? Alice passed the test, and she did not get the job. That's a bummer. But that's what it means. You negate, this if-then is negated by simply making the first statement, the P statement, and the negation of the Q statement, and put and in between. In other words, I just gave you the mechanics for negating something. Now, let me suggest something here. If you know the mechanics for negating an if-then statement, just do it and don't think about what you said. You follow me? If you think about this stuff too much, your heart will start to talk you out of it. And don't do that. Just say, I know the mechanics of negating something, so I negate it. Number 46. If Saturday is a hot day, then I'll go to the beach. So how would I negate that? Saturday was a hot day and I did not go to the beach. That's the mechanics of negating it. 49 to 51. Write in if-then form. Number 50. Where'd it go? Alice fails the test or she gets the job. Alice fails the test or she gets the job. And I'm supposed to put this in if-then form. Well, the first thing I do is put it I put it in this form. You follow me? I'm going to symbolic form because that's how I do this stuff. P or Q so if I want to put it in if-then form, if P then Q is equivalent to P or not Q. Remember that from before? Isn't it? Did they tell you that again somewhere? No. Number 50. That's not true. If P then Q is equivalent to what? That doesn't look right. If P then Q is equivalent to not P or Q, well then why did I write down P or not Q? I don't know. Is equivalent to what? Not P or Q. Is that what it says? Is that what you have in your notes? If P then Q is equivalent to not P or Q? I just had a dyslexic moment or something when I wrote that down. So let's fix it. So if I have this statement, how would I change it to this? I would say, what does 50 say? Alice fails the test. Alice did not fail the test. Or she got the job. So if then would be if Alice fails the test, then she P or Q. Number 50. Alice did not Alice failed the test, then she did not get the job. If Alice failed the test, then Alice failed the test, or she got the job. So that's equivalent to, yeah, number 48. So that is equivalent to P and not Q. Oh, not or. There, that's where I made my mistake looking at it. P and not Q. There. So Alice, yeah, change back to blue. Alice failed the test, and she did not get the job. So if Alice fails the test, then she does not get the job. Yeah, I forgot, looking at 48, I forgot to go to P and not Q. Is the negation of if P then Q. Number 53. If, what's 53 say? If a mother promises her child, if you eat the spinach and the liver, then you go out to play. So if you eat the spinach and the liver, then you may go out to play. For 53, did the child eat the spinach? Yes. Did the child eat the liver? No. True and false would be what for and? False. If then, if the if is false, if the P is false, the then can be true or false. Back up to the top of the page. Back to your chart. Where'd it go? If the P is false, then Q can be either true or false. And it's a true statement. So back down to our problem. What was that, 53? Did the mother lie to her? And the answer is no, she didn't. Even though it sounds like she did. 54? No, 50. Yeah, 54. Suppose the mother, how come I worked one of yours? Oh, because I had to work 54. 54. Suppose the mother says, if you do not eat your spinach, if you do not eat your spinach and what else? And your liver, then you may not go out and play. The child does not eat the spinach and the liver. So what does that make this? True. The child did not eat the spinach and the liver. You follow me? He only ate the spinach. And we said and. So if this is true, this has to be true for the if then to be true. But this is false. Didn't she let the child go out and play? She lets the child go out and play? She shouldn't have done that, because that makes this a false statement. She lied to the child by the way she said it the second time. Number 56. If you do what? If you want to buy organic food, you have to let your grocer know. So if you want to buy organic food, then you have to let your grocer know. Number 56A. You want to buy organic food, or you let your grocer know. You want to buy organic food, or you let your grocer know. And so all that's happening here is we're simply making a chart, B and L, true and true, false and false, true and false, true and false. We're just using different letters. So, or is true when both are true, when one is true, but it's false when both are false. So does that have the same truth value? Which of the following statements is equivalent? Logically equivalent means it has the same truth value of if then. What's the truth value here for if then? True and true would be true. True and false would be false. False and true would be true. And false and false would be true. So does this have the same truth value as this? No. So A is not equivalent. Let's go to B. True, true, false, false. True, false, true, false. If then, if B, then L. Oh, that's the one I just wrote here. Okay. Let's go to B. If not L, then not B. If L is true, false, not L is false, true. And if B is true, false, not B is false, true. And if then, false and false would be true and false would be false and true would be true and true would be true. Does that match? True, false, true. Yes. So that the truth values match. So that makes these two statements logically equivalent. C, here's the truth value for C. Does that match? No. So it's not logically equivalent. Here's the truth value for D. True, false, true. That doesn't match, so that's not logically equivalent either. All right. Number 58. Which statement is the logical negation? Which statement is the logical negation? So let's negate. What's the negation of something? Are and not. The negation of if P, then Q is not P, is P and not Q. So what do they want me to do for 58? If it's raining, then we'll not go to the beach. That's not go to the beach. Not go to the beach. So it's raining and we don't go to the beach. That's true. It's raining and we go to the beach. That's false. If it's not raining and we go to the beach, that's okay. If it's not raining and we if it's raining and we go to the beach, okay. If it's raining and we don't go to the beach, we still haven't lied. Now, what's the negation of that? Are and not. What's the negation of not going to the beach? Not going to the beach is my statement. I'm not going to the beach. What would I do if I lied to you? I went to the beach. You follow me? To negate a not is to say it happened. So what am I doing here? If it doesn't rain, A. If it's not raining, then I go to the beach. Rain is true, false. Not raining is false, true. Not go to the beach is true, false. Going to the beach is false, true. You follow what I'm doing? This back and forth thing? So false and false is true. False and true is true. True and false is false. And true is true. What do they want me to do with these? Which statement is the negation of that? So if I negate the statement, I'm looking for false, true, false. Well, that's true, false, true. So that one didn't work. So let's go to B. It is raining, and I did not go to the beach. Whoa. It's raining, and I did not go to the beach. What happened there? Just took it away? Well, raining would be true. Go ahead and let me fill it back in. Why is my tablet doing stuff to me today? Whoa. Who asked it to erase? What's that all about? There. Okay, it's raining. So that would be true, true, false, false. Not going to the beach, true, false, true, false. True, change to blue again. True and true would be true. True and false would be false. False and true for and would be false. False and false for and would be false. So true, false, false, false. Does that match the negation? False, true, false, false. No. So let's go to C. Does that match the negation? True, false, true, true? No. Does this match the negation? False, true, false, false. False, true, false, false. Yes. So I found, of all these statements, I found the one that's logically equivalent. All right. Stop when you get to 57. If you have questions about the homework from the last time or questions about this assignment, stick around and I can help you. As soon as I turn off the video.